Welcome to Pesto Comics Audio Edition. This is the entry for paid subscribers on April 12th, 2025. The full behind the scenes of creating Unlimited Udo. Welcome back. Unlimited Udo holds a special place in my heart. It's my first crowdfunding campaign and my first full-length one-shot. I had a little bit of practice with Brad's, but this was the first time I felt like it was all possible. It wasn't done alone, as I was very lucky to land a partner in Valentin who brought a very unique and interesting style to the book. He also took on lettering duties for this one, which allowed me to focus on everything else that goes into a crowdfunding campaign. When most creators look back on their early works, it's with a sense of shame, as though it was someone else making it, and there's a bit of embarrassment that goes along with it. Though I have that with some projects I did just out of film school or half-baked ideas that never saw the light of day, I'm still very proud of Unlimited Udo. There are things I would do differently if I put this story together now, but I still think it's a lot of fun. It continues to find new audiences, with the ever more relevant pitch. What if Elon Musk thought the way to solve the world's problems was to clone himself to solve them personally? Without fail, that at least gets a chuckle. Today, beyond the paywall, we'll go in depth as to how this project came together, what it costs to do so, and some lessons I learned from Unlimited Udo that I've taken forward with me through today's project. If you'd like to see for yourself, I'm offering subscribers a 60-day free trial if you sign up for the year. Use the button on the Substack, and not the one that's automatically included by Substack, to get that 60-day free trial. Now, let's get into it. Main story. Coming up with the concept. I had clones on the brain, not just with this project, but 3 projects altogether. First was Brad's, which I worked on with Lane Lloyd. Second was Unlimited Udo. And then the third, yet-to-be-announced comic strip style project that I'm working on. I'll share all the details about that project to paid subscribers first once it's ready to be shared. At the time this all came up, Elon was just beginning to fall off his rocker and buying Twitter as part of a very expensive joke on his part. It was still a weird time, as there was still a residual interest in him as the real-life Tony Stark, who was more quirky than outright concerning, but the cracks were starting to show. The bravado, the sense that he could do no wrong, and how everyone allowed this genius to get away with some of the most dim-witted antics to the point that he took the world along with him, ended up being prescient. It's an idea that could have expanded beyond the 28 pages I've confined it to, but I didn't want to do something too ambitious for my first crowdfunding project. A one-shot would allow people who didn't know me, so nearly everyone, to sample my work without having to commit to a series. I wanted to prove that I could tell a good story with a beginning, middle, and end, all in one short sitting. The only way I'd convince people to take the leap beyond my pitch was to have art that would stand out from the crowd. Finding Valentin. I've been monitoring the Facebook group Connecting Comic Artists and Writers for a really long time by the time I actually reached out to anyone for help in getting a project together. Though not every creator on there is at a professional level, some of the names that pop up are astounding. To this day, I'm constantly scrolling, waiting for artists that make me stop in my tracks. My list of artists I'd like to work with down the road is forever growing. I'm also quick to give artists I've worked with in the past my recommendation for all to see. Valentin convinced me to reach out with his style that easily stood out from all the rest. It's the type of work I was looking for. Something unique, yet professional. He was my first choice, and fortunately, he was all in for the project. With the team locked down, the next big question was funding. For free subscribers, this is where we go beyond the paywall. We'll get into specifics about funding amounts, costs, budgets, and all of that is followed up with lessons learned. You can subscribe to get all of it by becoming an early access subscriber. Right now, it's $45 Canadian for the full year. That comes with a 60-day free trial, so you can cancel before it ends if this isn't exactly what you're looking for. If this is where you're dropping off, I want to thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you again on Wednesday.